morning, everybody. We are back in the same place that we were last week, here by the pool. It's been pretty warm here in California, but I want to move forward with what I said last week. I went over the general price list, the pricing that funeral homes have to abide by, have to have on their general price list. And now I'm going to speak about the casket price list. And what I want to start off with again, because I'm trying to make this very important for all of you to understand. The federal rule is a set of regulations put in place by the Federal Trade Commission. In 1984, it was created in order to protect consumers from unethical, exploited practices by funeral homes and cemeteries. And death is universal, so no matter which religion, which country, no matter which money status we have, it's all going to happen to all of us. It's just how we perceive it, how we take that, and we take our grief and we heal with that. But these caskets in a funeral home, it used to be that if you purchased a casket, that was their profit. And back in, I think 1920s and 1930s, that's how they made their money. It was on the value of the casket. But now, through time and the generation changes, everything has changed up, especially now with all these corporations. They don't make the money on the caskets. Their money is made in the funeral services that they provide, which is on your general price list. But they still have a profit margin that they do make. And they get to set those profit margins on how they want to, as long as it's on their price list. Their casket price list has to be on there, and it has to have the full description. For instance, it has to say, you have to have the picture of the casket if it's in a binder or a notebook, and it'll show the picture of the casket. So, for instance, it'll say presidential casket, brushed copper with dark bronze finish, cream velvet interior, 18 gauge, gasket sealer, swing bar, handle hardware, locking mechanism. It's a half couch, has a matching pillow and a matching throw, and it's adjustable for the eternal rest. I hate when they say that, because really the adjustability is for us as the embalmers and the stagers, because a lot of times we'll place someone into a casket and they don't look appropriate. So with the internal mechanism, which is adjustable, it adjusts the bed so that way I can turn someone to the viewing side to look a little more pleasant, a little more comfortable, as you can only guess. I mean, I've had lots of families, what do they look like this? Well, that's because a lot of the times either they're a little too big, the shoulder wise for the casket, so they seem like they're crunched. Now, if I adjust the bed and I turn it slightly, you don't see that. So with a standard casket, an interior side is 48 or 84 inches long, 28 inches wide, and 23 high. The interior size is 78 inches long, 24 inches wide. So this is your standard casket. And there's a lot of work. There is a lot of material that's put into these caskets. And like I said, with the bronze, I mean, think about it. Why do you think it's an $11,000 casket, or even some funeral homes I've heard for the Promethean that I showed you in the last video for Michael Jackson, that's a poured in bronze mold. And I've heard of some funeral homes that charge $20,000 for that individual casket. So again, it depends on the funeral home. And what else does it depend on? It has to be on their price list. And it has to have these descriptions that these features on in the book. So with And these standard caskets fit in the standard vault that most cemeteries have available. And then the overside typically ranges from 29 inches to 48 inches. So the oversized casket also has the length of 83 to 88 inches. So the capacity that supports the weight of 350 to 500 pounds is your oversized casket. And that oversized casket has to be appropriately placed into an oversized vault. So that's where you get into the price difference. Standard is a standard person, and oversized is an oversized person. Uh, People that are 7 feet tall, they've got to go into the oversized. It's just the way it is. And then the cemetery has their regulations for their vaults for those individuals. And those vaults you purchase at the cemetery. Now, you can purchase some vaults from Wilbert through your funeral home. But again, they have to offer that most funeral homes don't offer, most cemeteries do offer. So again, cemeteries offers vaults, funeral homes offers caskets. Okay. Do you have to be buried in a coffin or casket? Most cemeteries require the casket of some sort to be placed into a vault. A vault can be non-biodegradable, board heavy duty plastic. You know, way back, gosh, I want to say, heard about this in 1992, I believe, maybe 93. There was a gentleman that was going around taking everybody's tires because you couldn't recycle tires back then, and they had they were just filling up our dumps. They were just, they're non-biodegradable. They're horrendous mess. They're horrendous to bury. They fill up our landfills. And so this older gentleman said, "Hey, I'm going to take these tires and basically this tar, whatever they were, and he'd melt them down, and then he'd put them into a mold, and he started selling these biodegradable molds as vaults for cemeteries. What better way than to get rid of these tires, right? What better way to get rid of these tires? They're not going to degrade, and they're filling up our landfills. Why not fill up our cemeteries and put our caskets in them, and then they're there for life with the casket. They have a lid that goes on with it, and we're solving the recycling issue. We're resolving a landfill issue, and we're solving a problem where now families can buy these at a lower cost than they can buy other vaults. So I say kudos to him, whoever he was. That's called sharp thinking. And my father-in-law, God rest his soul, he says, that's what happens when you didn't have any money and you had to think of ways around things. And we came up with clever things that nobody else knew. I mean, he always bragged about that, bragged about World War, and anyway. But this gentleman did figure it out, and we use them today. And now, of course, corporations have taken over and so on and so forth. Okay, here is something. I do not work for Costco. I'm not getting paid from Costco. I am not advertising for Costco, but I am going to tell you something that you need to know because a lot of people don't understand this. Costco caskets you can get tremendously less expensive. Friends, you can buy pretty much any casket you want. When you go on to Costco.com and you type in caskets, they don't have them. They used to have them when you first walked in Costco in the front door when you're entering. They had a display. They took those down because people started complaining about it. That was disturbing them. But on the website, you can go to Costco's.com. You can look up caskets, and it has a slew of caskets for you to choose from. And then you type in where you want that casket to be delivered. Now, here's the key thing. Funeral homes cannot refuse caskets shipped in by anybody, whether it's Costco, whether it's another manufacturer, whether you had it stored in your garage forever. They cannot refuse it, but they can. And I used to do this. I did this because I wanted the family to get what they purchased. You know how you purchase things online and you don't get what you ordered? So I would have this form with the deceased name on it, date of birth, date of death. The next of kin that came in that ordered the casket would come in. We'd unbox the casket. Is this your casket? Yes. We'd open up the casket. Is this what you thought it would be like on the inside? Yes. I checked that box. Please take a look around the whole casket and tell me any minors and scrapes on this casket, any dents. Oh, here's a dent. Okay, there's a dent. I write down there's a dent. The reason why I do that is because I don't want to be blamed for that dent. I don't want to be blamed for that dent or my employees. So therefore, the dent is noted. The dent is accepted by the next of kin. The next of kin signs. Everything is good. I accept it. Everything is good. See, that way I'm not held responsible for the shipping company that ships it. Whether they dented it, dropped it, scratched it during packaging, whatever the case may be, I wasn't involved in that. So therefore, I'm free and clear of the shipping. Now, I admire the fact that Costco has these caskets because especially today in this generation, people still don't want to be deprived of a funeral ceremony because they can't afford a nice casket. But you can go to Costco and you can get that casket. And they're beautiful. I've had them a lot of times. And that is the reason why, too, a lot of funeral homes don't have high-priced caskets anymore because there's an alternative means to purchasing caskets now. It's like with anything else. Times have changed, period. So it all comes down to me. To me, it all comes down to how you serve the family, how you're with the family, how you treat the family, the bond you make with the family, the love that you earn and respect that you earn from the family. That to me is the most important part of being a funeral director. It's not the casket you purchased from me. It's not the amount of the services that you purchased from me. Because however you purchase, I'm going to make it to the best dang funeral service I can provide. And I always did that. I did that 100% of the time. Yeah. Did I fall short? Absolutely. Did I do it on purpose? No. Had I been wronged in a certain situation? Yes. Did I let it affect my ability to keep on serving families? No. So hopefully today I got to help you out with just a few insights. I have a lot more to offer, so please subscribe, follow me, uh, push that like button, push that subscribe button, share my video with somebody who may need it. Also, I will put a link at the bottom for you to be able to contact me with any questions that you may have. And matter of fact, today I think I will ask a question. I'll put a link down there. Have you had any casket experiences that you want to share with me or that you want me to share online? I mean, on YouTube. And I will. I'll look into everything that I possibly can for you all because that's what I'm here for. So thank you all for showing up today. And please subscribe, hit that like button. And as Big Brother says, love one another.